We're starting ourselves on Erangel today, then on to Tego. 3 Miramars to round it out, as this is a very interesting situation. Leaderboard still fairly compacted in different aspects of it, but also tied for first place right now.
Yeah, so Soniqs and Na'Vi are tied as we head into our first game here of the day, the second day of Grand Finals here at PGS2, and it is a wrangle, as you said. So for a lot of these teams, starting with something, again, familiar before we head into Tego, and then we go back to Miramar, which has been more of a bloodbath than I feel like in previous events. I mean, Miramar has been ridiculous to watch.
That says something, right?
Yeah.
I mean, Miramar is always one of my favorites because of the capabilities for foot pushing, everything. It is going to be something we're gonna end on dessert, to say the least. Plane Path's gonna be coming in over George Pool. They are sitting at 6 kills right now. They are about to be getting into that sight line of Danoa, as Danoa is moving up the hill. Fex is gonna go down. It's gonna be Soniqs finding that one quick.
Yeah, that's going to be a second bleed. Fex will be all but gone. So duo left on the side of FaZe, and they're still also going to have to contest with Soniqs now that has spread out and come on the south, so they will be sandwiched. It is just down to Gustav. As Soniqs, though, need to be careful of question mark, and as you see, they're actually starting to pivot back towards Win. They have to be careful. They have to realize that someone is going to be close, right?
This is what we call a target-rich environment, to say the least. TGLTN, I think he knows. He's creeping in. Oh, doesn't matter. Loki just hits the shots. Headshot going to take him down. Loki, are you going to be able to pick up more? Shrimzy steps back. Going to go ahead and throw the Molotov. Circle is going to pop. Heavily favor QM. No big surprise there. QM now making a shift down into the west. Think maybe they can harass out Win in his position.
And Win now has to be just as big as Gustav was against Gen.G, as he is pretty much the only thing holding back QM as they hear this fight, and they would love to get the points and get that third party rolling.
They are just waiting for those heads to pop up over the top of that hillside and just unload. H1 has shifted away from his position in QM. Numbers now stacked up over here. Loki just waiting, spotting him out. Goes for spray, does get taken, but he's going to go down. Exchange happening now, just Shrimzy fighting this one through. Soul gonna get the knock, but it came at the cost of 1.
And it also came at the cost of the alerting question mark that fight has now concluded. Only 2 members left. A nade from Phil first will find Soul.
Soniqs will just barely maintain their first place by going up to 58. Question mark closes the gap by 57, and Na'Vi does let that slack slide just a little. T5, though, despite the fact they got second place there, are sort of still stagnating.
Give me more. I want all of what's been happening inside these games so far, as it has been an absolute feast to watch these games.
Dude, the circles, again, I know we keep talking about it, but all event have just been absolutely wild. The shifts, I mean, even circles that we look at normally that tend to lean towards, you know, like a more central position, even those shifts have been just something ridiculous. And so a lot of these teams, we've been seeing some of the best minds, though, adapt to these in ways that, you know, have been most impressive.
A couple of our Pachinki teams also have some sight lines. So now Tyloo is having to shift back into the north in the exact same area that Soniqs are going to be trying to come in from, because Soniqs have been held back by what's going on with T5.
Yep. T5, actually, again, that angle from Rossadin, who has been so good for T5, and now starting to dictate a little bit of the rotation there for Soniqs, but they're going to find Zhao Yang. And look, Twisted Minds now will try to extend their control in the east, as they're going to shred members of Danoa in that rotation.
Comes at a cost of 1, but Danoa does manage to at least get past the lineup that we can see coming from Twisted Minds. Meanwhile, let's pop back over to this. TGLTN is going to go down. Tyloo just trying to defend this one up. Question mark, here's this firefight, and they're moving in aggressively. T5 actually taking some shots into what's going on with question mark coming in. Tyloo is going to go down, but that doesn't help out Soniqs. Still caught outside, and the blue is, they've just replaced one team that they wanted to deal with 2 teams that are now going to gatekeep them.
Yeah, on top of that, question mark looking so good. Phil first has been such an effective and impactful fragger on the field. 6 kills. QM really slow rolling this into perfection. The way that they've been playing has been astoundingly good.
I mean, what do you even do in a situation like this? Shrimzy, the last one up. He's just a couple of meters away from question mark. T5 now moved into a gatekeeping position, just waiting to see what's all going to happen in the movement. Question mark leaning into much more of a wolf pack strategy, and that could be a problem as we do see the nade come out. Ends up a bit short. Shrimzy is at least going to get one. Tries to go for more. He's going to go down. Soniqs going to eliminate it, and now question mark going to get control at the top of the leaderboard with both Soniqs and Danoa out.
I mean, at the start of the day, Na'Vi and Soniqs were tied for first. Question mark has overtaking it substantially as they move up to 70, and Forrest off the back of that chicken dinner does manage to get them to 7th place, which I think is a position they are going to be very, very happy with.
I mean, that's just kind of the way that it works though, right? With a lot of the different areas that we've played, we've pretty much landed all over Tego, right? There's not an area that I feel like at this point, except for maybe the West Coast and Hapo, we've been all over the map, and a lot of that is due to how difficult it can be to rotate, especially if you're a late rotator, because of the way that the terrain is set up, because of the way that the cities are even set up, because you were kind of mentioning it yesterday with Toby, especially when we had that game kind of end in Song M.
The other members of 17 Gaming kind of caught out, not realizing, okay, what's our best strategy? We know that Cerberus has got this point on lock. Twisted Mind's going to have the south have to contend with. Soniqs going to go ahead and move into a vehicle, and they're going to roll right up next to Forrest. They're going to have to just essentially jump out of this directly into a firefight. Scappy's going to go ahead and throw down some of this utility. Blue Zone's going to slow it down just a bit. Also hit the shot on the head. Headshot into this one off the start. Scappy, man, he is a scrappy mid-game fighter, and look at this. Forrest just denies anything that Soniqs were trying to do.
Just like that, using the momentum there from the last game to continue to fight. We've really seen Forrest start to come alive. Like, as you said, Olympus and Scappy have been huge for this squad. As Scappy isn't done, he'll find the knock on the crazy as well.
But here, it's going to be the total leaderboard updated, and Twisted Mind jumps into first place. This was 80 here, having a 10-point buffer, and another 8-point buffer down to Soniqs from question mark. A little bit of a shape up and a little bit of a top pack forming here, Toughies.
Thank you so much, Toffees and Avenger. Yes, it is myself, Godspeed, and Matchroom as we head into our favorite map. I think that's no surprise in the 4th game here, as we are going to be ending on Miramar, and this is a pretty southern plane path. But just to also bounce off the desk, yes, Cerberus has had an incredible glow up here and starting to show the team that they were in groups and winners.
And there is something to be said about how difficult it is to navigate what Cerberus is doing, right? They were a very, I guess, mid-game heavy firefight squad that's now having to shift into a more passive, late-game centered strategy. A lot of solo duo scrapping that's going to go over here, as this has just been a send it with a dream, and maybe you can manage to make it into the zone kind of situation for a couple of these squads. Gen G, though, also making a directed send right up on top of Soniqs, realizing that that's the only dip that's going to be available inside of this exchange right now, as looks like we are finally going to see Tyloo get eliminated.
Yeah, so a couple members there will survive. Shrimzy now dancing around this shack and all the exploding vehicles, but the cover is there from Twisted to help them out as Gen G will fall, and Spyro will be the benefactor there, taking all those points.
They are hunkered down. They're hoping that maybe some reinforcements are going to come, and that reinforcement is going to come, as it is going to be Twisted Minds trying to make their way up this hillside. The longer that Forrest lives means the fact that it is going to be way, way worse for 17 Gaming. Finally, and not going to be coming out, is going to be Scappy going down. How much closer can we see Twisted Minds? They had to step away. Sonic starts taking shots in the back of them, and they had to move. 17 Gaming now gets to control this.
They couldn't, and now 17, as you said, are able to take complete control here as they're just decimating Forrest. But it's going to be the team on the other side of this 4 a.m. now embroiled in a fight with Falcons, as Danawa now has all the space in the world to work with. 17 now cornered.
This is kind of low ground Sonics positioning versus the hillsides that Danawa is trying to cling into. H1's going to hit the shot onto Loki, and now Falcons just kind of caught in the middle, but really not a catalyst for that's hyper negative against them just quite yet, until Mime makes the step up, goes for the spray out of it. Are we going to see Salute try to mirror on the opposing side? He's kind of caught up in a fight with Silson at the exact same moment. So now Falcons having to deal with just 2 different threats. Post that DraftKings though pops up, gets himself a double.
And that was massive. We saw Mime utilizing that new jammer pack to get the off angle, but it was traded right back from DraftKings as Smoke's now coming out. Mime with the opportunity to maybe get up Shrimzy. Silson is not close enough yet to capitalize on this and take down Soniqs. And now Danawa has decided to push behind.
Just shifting, realizing the opportunity. They're just going to be making a massive play into this with Silson, though, trying his hardest. He does not want to go down without a fight. At least manages to get a knock. That means that Danawa knows they're going to be walking into a very weakened Soniqs. Himax, though, just look at him. He's just chilling on the opposing side of the circle, just like, I dodged the aid, my life is good.
And Hwin has to be huge here for the Soniqs to allow them any time to potentially recover. Shrimzy would love to get these reses. Hwin has to put damage on Danawa to just sway them from pushing over and pouring over this ridge and taking care of the Soniqs. But Loki will find the knock, and Soniqs Soniqs will fall.
Donawa should be moving up into a position where they might even be able to contest for the first place spot. They're actually going to go to second with 79 points. Twisted Minds will hold on to first place, but that gap has closed a little bit. It has been an absolute crazy shuffle there up at the top as these teams, like you said, are struggling and they're pushing to make sure that they end day 2 in a comfortable race instead of sort of trying to play catch up. And with only 2 games left to play, it's more important than ever.
When you're an IGL, when you make those decisions and then you look back at the games, you're like, damn, maybe instead of going for kills here, we actually could have rotated a little more to the west. We could have found ourselves in a nice position. So that's also going to be difficult for a lot of these teams to kind of look back on or even adapt in the moment. But we are heading into the game, as you said, a very southern plane path.
They stole this from Twisted Minds by taking down one of their members, and so they can't go for too many peeks out. They also have a lot of open angles that they're having to contend with, so they're just got their backs up against the wall quite literally to try to survive. Crawling out looks like is he just trying to pick up some more information? Circle's gonna pop. Fortunately for Gen G and the catastrophe that's befalling them right now, they are pretty centered. Bit more to the south. You can see they're trying to dodge out on some of these angles. Let's not forget about Cerberus right at the doorstep of what's going to be going on with Gen G. Twisted Minds, though, just putting in so much work while Gen G is alive. My concern is just look at how much damage they're taking. They are just coming into this one tattered. Na'Vi making their foot push, though. They're going to have to deal with shotguns at the doorway. Capitan just waiting. Question mark. Soniqs. We're going to see Cerberus, 4 angry men all having to make a move.
And Capitan barely making it in that building. He might be able, in fact, he should be able to respond with the res there on Emmy. As now Soniqs have actually chosen to backfill Danoa. Beautiful play.
Just jumps up, finds the moment to pounce. They've got to continue their path, and we were talking about how much it's going to suck to cross that road. Well, guess what? That's what you got to do if you're coming in from the south on this one. Cerberus Esports is going to get eliminated, as well as 4 angry men now starting to get a line and keeping an eye on what's going to be on with question mark. Soniqs, though, are moving factors to the south. They're going to have to contend with Twisted Minds on one side, remnants of Falcons on the other. Twisted Minds going to have to deal with Bill first right down the loam, and you can see, yes, they had smokes. Soniqs, who've been holding down a lot of these different angles, have the utility, but the problem is they just don't have the cover.
This is what we were worried about. Crossing is just so difficult. At least Tate will find Capitan. He'll maybe get a point before he goes down, but no. The trade will buy them a little bit of time, as now Spiral will have to res Batulins.
Just holding out on top of this one right now, clinging to life. Soniqs trying to do the same, as you can see that they're having to move through a very desperate approach. Benefit, though, is finally everything is dead in front of them. The compound in front of them, if they can make it, is going to be safe.
That jammer pack saving mine. A little bit of damage. He's starting to go up towards this building. There's basically a dump truck there. There's not much to play. And even if he gets on that, I'm not even sure he's safe, as Shrimsy will go down to Suju. And yeah, he's just going to hunker down for the time being. It's pretty much the best play he has, especially with 17 right above him. A 17 with 6 kills of their own, holding the high ground position against 4AM. But they also have to be very aware that Twisted is still on this high ground 5-story.
And they've got those like air ducts that are even giving them something, some type of cover to work around. You can knock it, but it's going to be Dalve up in the front. Just going to go ahead and start walking the path in. Tries to go for some plays out of it. 4 angry men trying to weather the storm the best that they can. Nade's now going to be rolling right in the thick of them. Take out another. Just one clinging to life. 17 Gaming are going to be in front of this. What are Twisted Minds going to do? They're just watching this. They're just farming every bit of kills that they can get out of it.
Let's look at that total. Twisted Minds continues the climb at 102 points. And if the name of the game of the day was pick up points and set yourself a buffer for the final race tomorrow, Twisted Minds is making a statement. We'll go through that in a second, though. Soniqs at 83, tied with question mark at 83. Donawa on the climb to 81. Na'Vi has slid all the way to 6th place after starting in first with 66, and we do see T5 Forest. Cerberus, though, another big climb.
Yeah, big climb for them, of course, coming into this too. And in general, just this top pack starting to form already with one more game to go. It's going to be scary for the mid pack. They have to have a good game here in the end to be able to be within striking distance on our last day tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Steve and Martin. Actually, a really good point as well brought up by Toffees. The conversation that you would potentially have, depending on where you are in the leaderboard, could be vastly different if you're on the bottom or if you're towards the top.
This is just a salvage game for this. We've already got Dano out. We already have QM out. Just the longer I survive, the better. And hey, you know what? Last time just sitting in a vehicle worked, right? So let's try to make it happen again. And by God, it will.
It will. 5 kills. 17 Gaming will take out Hatsawat. T5 now, I think, is only down to a few members. It's only 2, yeah. So 17 have taken control of the west side of Picado. And this is such a strong position to play from as Falcons will fall. 6 kills away of Tyloo, 3 of which going to Shen.
Never count yourself out whenever you're up against Shin over there. He's got a lot of capabilities to make this work. Soniqs, though, trying to stop out Na'Vi, getting away from their motel. You can see that there's a lot of knocks. That's Molotov's going to go ahead and finish that one out. And now Uba, can he do it yet again? We've seen some massive performances come out from him, but this is just such a defended sideline, dude.
And I love the deployable shield there in the doorway. Soniqs will handily take care of Na'Vi as they lost a member early in Shrimsy when he went for that push on Batu. But now look at their position. 3 alive, and they have center Picado.
Let's also not forget Shin actually cuts a path right up into the thick of the circle. I love the fact that we're getting a nice line, and Logs tries to be sneaky, but gets punished quick for it.
Now Sonic slowly starting to take control, getting rid of all the teams and all the solos to their south.
Creeping up from this one, it's going to be Forrest. We have to keep an eye out. He's going to be the moving factor back behind a lot of what's going to be going on. Sonic's going to be playing to the east of this one. It's going to be 17 that's going to be the west. It's going to be Shin right in the thick between them all. He's got a shotgun and can absolutely unload it any given second.
17 doing a great job here, making it to the west side, now on the outside wall, and they're going to be very close to Soniqs on the other side. Again, that center is going to be ending in that building, which means that 17 will eventually contest with Soniqs.
Blue zone nades starting to reveal themselves now, forcing Shin away from up on top of the building. It's going to be Mime. That blue zone damage just going to be chunking him massively. He steps away from it, can try to path back in, but he has got to be careful. He's taking a ton of damage out of it. High ground is going to favor the Soniqs, but it's going to be 17 Gaming that has a couple of defensive positions that they can push from.
That's very important. As you said, Matt, the high ground position here could be the deciding factor for Soniqs, which is why you see 17 desperately throwing grenades, trying to find a knock and an advantage, because this is a high-low situation.
Would it be an international if we did not have Soniqs and 17 Gaming trying to scrap for the end of what's going on inside of Picado? Now, 17 Gaming making their push in, but don't forget about the X Factor inside of Shin. Tickleton spots out a bit of a reposition, doesn't manage to hit the shots though. Nate's gonna be getting up, bouncing through. Mime with a big play to pick up 2.
And a beautiful double. He now finds it's it. 17 is out. There's just one member, and Soniqs will very quickly deplete that lead that Twisted had.
That is the game they wanted. There is so much storyline stacked in top of that one, from hot drops, from positioning. I mean, what we've been looking at years of fighting for this squad around Picado, and now walking away from a victory in it.
Let's look at the overall leaderboard as we have 6 more games to play tomorrow. Twisted Minds will go into it with the big lead at 110. Soniqs does catch up. They had slid before this match a little bit farther than they probably would have liked. They managed to get to 103. Donawa at 87. That's where that first gap is, Martin. And it is a very tight, I would say, upper mid to mid pack.
Day 3, tomorrow, the final day of the grand finals is almost upon us. One more sleep. And this trophy, the PGS2 trophy, will go into the hands of our winners. And of course, the lion's share of $2 million. Thank you so much to everyone at home for watching and supporting all your favorite teams, and to everyone who's working on this stream for the past 2 weeks. It's been phenomenal so far. But like we've said, tomorrow, the last day. My name is Banks, and this is Sandstorm, and we'll see you then.